All right. Good evening, everyone. Again, this is Roden, and we're here for Eve Station Trading episode 28. We're getting up there. We're getting up there, guys. I'm really happy about our consistency. Um, Actually, even for like as far as market stuff's concerned, it's been not very eventful. Not really. So I'm glad that we were. I'm glad that we're able to actually come up with some stuff. All right. Cap, crazy bastard. I know, man. It's like everyone's all over. Of course, the whole CO2 dying. I'm like, I'm more, I'm more concerned that stuff like that doesn't happen more often. That's actually my main concern. It's like, um, the game seeks to be stable, and it reaches its stability, and then it just stays there. Like, what the fuck? Why? Why is it so stable? It's such a stable system. Like we go out of our way to really not be in a sandbox, even though we're in a sandbox. Oh, Albion, yeah. I mean, it's got for a multi-platform game. It's actually it's pretty. It's got decent graphics for a multi-platform game. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and carry on with our review of last week's picks. So the first one we're gonna go over is we went over Genulution. We called it a buy on Genulution CA4s and CA2s. The game's mature enough to have multinational cores. Albion already? I don't know. I mean, it's gone through a couple betas, so yeah, I guess so. Several betas actually. All right, so Genulution CA2s and CA4s. The CA4 is technically still at a buy period. That's actually it. Just looking at the chart, that's actually quite rare. Actually, no, it's not. No, it's not. He had a pretty extended sell period, so it kind of makes sense. Previous to this 90-day period, I'm more used to it being cyclical, like literally like up down up down up down like that. I've been noticing that pattern actually not. It, I've been noticing it a lot, like really extended periods, like periods of a particular state, like a really long buy order, that's attractive at buy orders, or a really long period where it's attractive at sell orders. It's really strange. The market's actually, it seems quite um, not really excited. You know what I mean? It's pretty stable. That's really, I don't know. I guess it kind of makes sense, especially with a large update coming up. People are very cautious. Like I definitely would be. I mean, I've gotten caught plenty of times trying to make a lot of small, even though they're small moves, making a lot of small moves right before a big patch. Your safe bet, honestly, unless you have some speculative action happening, your safe bet, honestly, is to just observe, just be an observing party that will pay out dividends later down the line. Believe me. Right. So CA4s still looking to be in a buy period. Why not? Yeah. Is it flippable? Is it flippable right now? That's tight. Oh yeah, it's right there. You get like a percent. Yeah, Cap. I mean, with CO2 effectively dead. I mean, yeah, a lot of people are like, I don't really. You know what? It wouldn't surprise me if a good chunk of this, if that actually scares away a fair number of people like out of the games. Like, oh, because they were so invested, you know. It wouldn't surprise me at all. That's a shame. It really is. Because it's, especially in this day and age in Eve, it's so easy to rebuild yourself. So easy. All right, let's look at the C82s. Oh, C82s look fat. Fat margin. Yeah, so at least with the CA2s, it's if you would have bought it last week, you would have been in better shape to actually sell it this week. It's good. I was actually pretty hesitant to make that call last week because there wasn't much to go off of the chart. They're very very small indicators, and yeah, actually it kind of paid off. That's good. Balkan Mafia. All right. I don't know anyone in there personally. I don't know a lot of people that well, I know people from their trading alts. I'm pretty sure, you know, if folks were actually revealed, I actually have a pretty sizable social circle as far as influence. But I just know them as my trading buddies. It's like Balkan Mafia is GigX. That's terrible, man. That's terrible to have such an encompassing personality like that. Because then, you know, if you get hit by a bus, you know, Lance dies. Shame about the bus too. All right. We're gonna see if it was tradable. It looked like fat margins, like I was mentioning in the beginning. 170 to 207. That's huge. That's 18% before taxes. For Genuolution, that's actually really good. That's quite rare. It tends to not really veer off of the 10% mark. That's really good. The slave way shows a lack of cultural awareness by CC. What do you mean by slave way? Our next one is the MPTCs. I really should be more aware of the MPTC and the Plex sales. It seems like it's. I don't know if it's just me, but I keep hearing that these sales happening are a hell of a lot. They're happening much more often than usual. Oh shit! Wow, that's a huge margin. Look at the margin here in a bit, but let's look at the chart. So it's still. This was another one of those where I was afraid to call this last week. I'm glad I did though. It's not necessary. Well, it's still showing buy signal, but it extended itself into a trade channel, although a bit elevated for a wow. I'm not really sure. So it looks like just the actual value of the PTCs are just rising, but it's rising in a way that it's actually sustainable. What's making this sustainable? What's making this sustainable? I don't get it. Is it because of the zombie farming? But the zombie farming is really not even that profitable anymore. Or is it a reaction to Plex? Wow, that's crazy. Like I personally I have no use for MPTCs, no use for the metal, but people are wanting to buy it. I don't know. If any of you guys out there actually buy this stuff, I mean, do you use it outside of like, do you use it in a meta way outside of actually just training two characters? Or is it a product of yeah, I mean it must be zombie. It has to be an aspect of zombie farming. It has to be. But from what I understand, like it's not as profitable as it used to be. All right, there you go, folks. MPTC's on the rise, like legit, like sustained rise. All right, let's look at how tradable it is. Super tradable, or flippable rather. 7% before taxes for something that's over a billion. That's really good. That's really really good. Now, could you potentially be caught in some sort of? Could this actually be some sort of mania that doesn't actually have any value rooted to it? I don't know, man. I don't think it's a product of sales or like having a discount. I don't think so. It's probably more got. It probably has more to do with how Plex is behaving this week, which we actually will go over because I actually call it out. Or I'm going to be calling this out later. All right, next item, Kaldari Navy ballistic control system. I can't remember the last time I used that. To be honest, like I owned a Golem and everything. I don't think I even used. I think I just tattooed it. Maybe for jackdaws, I don't know, man. We'll call this as a buy. Okay, it's definitely a buy. Has it actually hit the floor yet? That's a good question. It's a good question. I don't know. It's wow. Calling it calling it this week would have been better versus calling it last week. Because well, either or I guess. Last week we were pretty close to its previous floor, but we've actually surpassed it. Hmm. What's the cost of this? 80 some odd mil, dude. I'd buy this in volume right now. I legit would buy this in volume. Like conservatively, I'd probably put down. I'd probably buy a quarter of the daily volume as a speculative bet. Yeah, like a quarter of the daily volume buy orders. I can't imagine it to go any lower. That's the thing. You might see so in the realm of like 82. Yeah, man, that's historic lows. That's totally historic lows. Like absolute history. I'd buy this shit right now. Buy this shit in volume. Man, I wish I had some cash now. Fuck. If you have cash, continue to buy this. Continue to buy this. You can have a really fat cash out, like come winter time. All right, so those are all our buys. We're gonna carry on. Ooh, what's this? Oh, hey, Sabiak. Elite Eve market analytics? No, no, man, not at all. I literally just talk myself into finding solutions to market problems with you guys. That's all I do. I'm that guy. I'm just a rambler that just finds the answer more often than not. So I don't have tool. I don't have fancy tools like the rest of my peers. You know what I mean? Like I don't mess around with the API or anything like that. Look, just in game. Give me the in game look. Just give me the in game look. We'll figure it out from there. We'll talk it out. All right. Next, we're gonna go over the buys that we called out. We're gonna start. We're gonna start with the excavator mining drones. So we called that a buy last week, or yes, I'm sorry, a sell, a sell, yeah, sell, a sell from last week. Really? It's still a sell? Really? I'm super surprised. See, it's increasing. It's displaying the sell signals in such a gradual way that it's hard to tell when it's gonna top out. Savi's Macaros and rattlesnake buys, like they're unless you can literally babysit those orders, you may be waiting a while. That's what ended up happening to me. We'll go over it, of course, but just those types of things, you have to be able to babysit them, which is really odd because they don't have that much daily volume anyway. But they get dropped and they get bought up, not one at a time, like in like batches of fives and tens. I don't know. They're doctrine shit, right? So someone literally buys it in batches. I don't know who it is, but someone does. All right. Yeah. I'm very surprised with excavator mine drones. If you're a producer of this, I imagine by now that the value of the blueprints. Hopefully, you're not getting it from the mark from open contracts in Jita because those are very very overpriced. But if you're the type of person that actually has access to getting the blueprints out in nullsec, just trading with your fellow nullsec dwellers out there, definitely do that. Keep selling them. It's showing sell signals, so see if it's flippable though. Ooh, that's tight. Ah, that's not even worth it for the value. Psh, that's less than a percent, man. Get out of here. All right, next one's called Dari Navy Medium Shield Extenders. I see us calling. I see myself. I see us calling out a lot of Kaldari stuff because it looks like they're holding on to tier two, but I don't think they can make the push, man. I continue to sell this just because it isn't a really good margin. It's in a 10% margin or 10% trade channel rather. So It's buy at 10, sell at 11. Yeah, yeah. I would literally just place like buy orders on this as long as it doesn't go beyond 10. I'm gonna continue to buy this. Caldari Navy Medium Shield Extender is a super stable faction. It's one of the more stable faction items pricing wise that you'll ever encounter. It almost always maintains its 10%. Even the faction frigates don't even maintain that kind of percentages. They tend to hover at the like 4 to 7% mark. All right, I will continue to trade this just because of the trade channel that it's in. And next one is the Raven Navy issue. Really weird to call that out too. Because for one, not a lot of people, it takes a fair amount of development in your tiers to actually be able to, as a faction, cash out your faction battleships, because that's the highest LP exchange item in the LP store. Those are actually, that's super tradable too. Your volume's gonna be, actually your volume's not bad. Your volume's not bad. So it stayed it stayed at sell signals all the way up until today. How convenient. It was sellable the whole time. Hopefully someone cashed out on this. But man, these margins are good. So daily volume of around, that's what, maybe 10, 15? Considering the value, that's actually not bad. Especially since, I don't know, like, I've used a Raven Navy issue before. I mean, it's a cheap golem, but I'd rather use something else than use this as a cheap golem. $11% before taxes for a Navy battleship? That's really good. It's almost as if people got caught exchanging these, thinking that Caldari LP will maintain its value. I mean, it is maintaining its value. It's actually increasing its value now, but based on how the tier control is dwindling, it's probably, people just probably aren't playing as much right now. But at 11%, that's actually out of the ordinary high. That's high. That's like Marauder. That's like in the same. That's comparable realms as Marauder profit margins. Marauder profit margins are like they're stuck at 10%. They're literally stuck at 10%. All right, so those are our reviews from last week. Before we get started with our callouts for this week, I just want to go over some items with you guys. All right, what I got there for you guys, actually, I had made a video over the weekend. It's actually a trading guide. That's my first trading guide video for Eve, oddly enough. I've done trading guides or other games, but for Eve I didn't do it. Mostly because I'm already doing the show with you guys. Yeah, I'm kind of. Thank you very much for the folks who actually have watched it. I was asked to do that by one of our friends that is in an alliance, and they wanted just to get that kind of classroom type information. And yeah, I was more than willing to oblige, and I had a good time. Really, I had a really good time actually making that video. It gave me a chance to flesh out a lot of the ideas that I talk about in the show, but may be missed since I go over them pretty quickly. So yeah, I mean, I think I definitely want to expand on that training series and go over more of a not necessarily like the tried and true trading. I really want to present new trading ideas, basically. Because if all I talk about is the stuff that you guys already know, then that's kind of pointless. You know what I mean? That serves no one. Trading is such a personal experience, honestly, because a lot of people do it differently. They do it their way. So if I can present to you guys how I do it, even as a matter of preparation for the show, the weekly shows, that's probably of some value to someone out there. I think a lot of people get too caught up in trying to learn it, like exhaustingly learn it, instead of just doing it. And by the time they do it, they already have this expectation of, oh, but I've been learning this for so long now, I should be okay with this. Like, no, man, you literally just got, your journey just got started, man. Your journey just got started. Like, reading the market's so valuable, but it's very difficult to actually learn how to do that. You have to experience it. So with that being said, yeah, check out the video, please, and let me know what you think. I definitely want to create another type of video like that either this weekend or next weekend. I'm just trying to figure out how to kind of space out the various topics I want to cover. But I definitely will be continuing to make videos like that. One other thing I want to go over with you guys is so I've been creating these. It's kind of like this. It's kind of like the Eve Station trading show, but for another game, Albion. I talk about it a lot. And the reason I bring that up is this. It's like both games probably have one of the more fleshed out economic models in as far as MMOs go, but they offer different angles as far as presenting it. Eve has this very fleshed out. It's been 10 plus years now its existence, right? Has a very fleshed out market. Its market interface is the best. It is the best. But when I go to Albion, it's auction house, man. Like, there's no history. There's literally no market history to speak of. So what I've been focusing over there, as far as how to present their market stuff, is actually going over production, not actually trading. Not really. Going over production. And I was thinking about, what? I think a lot of people will be able to, can find that interesting if I were to present that here in the trading show. What do I mean by that? So, one of the things I go over in Albion, when I do it, it's called the Auction House Snapshot. That's what I named my series over there. What I go over is actually, is something easier, more. Is something cheaper to build or to trade? So a lot of, so basically it's case studies on like saturated markets, case studies on, there's something weird with the pricing here and it's actually causing this item to be sold at below build cost, something like that. I'd like to actually present that same type of information for you guys here on this show. I just have to figure out how to do it, because for the most part, I think the main challenge in doing that is the economy here is pretty fleshed out already, and small, and not really small discrepancies, but discrepancies like that, like, this is you're trying to sell this below build cost. That's so rare, and when it does happen, a lot of times it gets corrected intraday. In the same day, it will get corrected. So I'll probably do some test runs on items that may be have really weird pricing on their input material, and tell you guys about it, show you guys my findings. But I don't know. We'll see. I'll kind of just throwing ideas out there. But something I really want to cover is to start expanding beyond the just the Jita trading. Start going over. I really want to go over LP stuff with you guys. I think that's something that I can speak of very like I can speak very clearly on it. I can speak very intelligently on it since my main source of personal income actually comes from LP exchanges. So I may start out with something like that and kind of start expanding our general market talks here. All right, so with that, we will go over now our picks for this week. All right, so the first one we're going to go over is the Macarial. First one's going to go over the Macarial. All right, so definitely displaying buy signals here for the Macarial. I made a note for myself here. Macarial at 460. Macarial at 460 mil. How feasible is that? That's actually a long shot. That's a very aggressive buy order. Actually, no, aggressive is not the right word. That's a very low ball buy order. It's hard to say because we don't know. Like this is kind of the established floor right now, and it's probably slightly above 460. Actually, I placed my own order at 463, so. Because we're already at 475. Can I catch this like 10 mil cheaper? If I don't get it this weekend, I probably went too low. I'm probably asking too low. So I'll adjust from there. But that's where I have it right now. Because it's displaying buy signals anyway, so I might as well shoot for the moon, I guess. All right, the next item is the rattlesnakes. A very similar looking chart, and I'm calling the rattlesnakes as a. This is pretty aggressive too. A buy at 425. All right, pretty aggressive. Buy at 425. Buy at 425 for the rattlesnake. I'm basically aiming for this to land a little lower. Is it feasible? It's only about a bit over 10 below what the current buy orders are right now, the competitively listed ones. The only fear though is I don't have that many. There's not that many buy orders for rattlesnakes in the first place. My order is literally like towards the bottom half of the page. That's aggressive. That's super aggressive. If I don't get it, this weekend, I may have missed the movement, and now I have to figure out whether to cancel the order straight up or potentially wait another 2 to 3 weeks to see if I can catch it on the next downward swing. I'm compelled to actually be more aggressive in how I react to it. To be honest, if I don't catch the Macarial or the rattlesnake this weekend, I'm probably gonna have to look at something else. I have to look at something else. It's dead money. It's dead money. All right, and for our buys, I'm calling Plex. I actually had bought, I think 2,000 units of this. It got filled like literally like between when I play in the evening and downtime, which is like a 7 hour period. My buy orders got filled pretty quick. So let's look at Plex and let me explain to you guys why I think it's a really good buy right now. It's been a good buy for a while. It's just that it was strange that it was such a good buy for so long. Okay, so disregard the margins right now. That's not relevant right now. What I want you guys to focus on is the spoiler chart. Expand this a little. So we can clearly see that it's kind of going through. It's going through a cyclical ways. So it crested at in the 3.5 million mark, and it's been slowly going down then. But then it's literally on a floor right now. I have a hard time believing, looking at the 90-day chart, that this trade channel that it's in right now is like is a top end trade channel. I have a hard time believing that. I really believe that this is a bottom end trade channel. And it's just strange that it stayed here for this long, especially on something like Plex. That is strange. So what's and one thing that I want to add to this is this trade channel looks very artificial. I shouldn't say it looks artificial. It feels very artificial. It feels weird that the Plex price can be suppressed like this for almost 2 weeks, especially with how cheap it is now. That's really strange. You'd be hard pressed to suppress Plex when it was still like the large item, like the 1 billion plus item. You'd be hard pressed to suppress that short of an actual Plex wall. Like even consecutive sales couldn't really keep it down that long. I'm not saying someone's suppressing the price right now, but I'll take advantage of it. I don't care. Take advantage of it. Now, if you were to buy it now at 3, even cashing out at 3.1, 3.2 actually gives you like tremendous profit, to be honest. Oh, cap's back. All right, hey, it's okay. Yeah. So I call this a buy. I myself have placed buy orders. I'll probably cash out. I have a. Can it reach its previous heights in the middle of winter when things kind of start picking up? Anyway, maybe it wouldn't surprise me if it did. But it's so cheap. To be honest, I'm just holding on to it and I'm treating it like gold in real life. I'll cash it out whenever, but I'm aiming for about 3.3, 3.4 over the winter time. If it stays like this, and if I end up selling some of my items, I'm probably gonna buy more if it stays at the like flat 3 mil. Cavs like you made a good choice. Yeah, dude. Like I might go like legit all in on Plex right now because I have a hard time believing that's gonna drop. Plex doesn't drop. When Plex drops, like people have a hard time actually like pulling the trigger because it's Plex. But like stop thinking that it's Plex. It's an item that's worth 3 million. Just go with it. if that's what it takes for you guys to pull the trigger, just don't worry about it. It's just an item that's worth 3 million. We literally flip, like faction items like worth like hundreds times more than that. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, man. Dude, if See, what do I have that I can sell? I'm waiting for it to sell. See, I'm nowhere near I'm nowhere near selling any of the items I have listed on sale right now. I totally missed the mark on when to sell them, on what price to sell them, and I aimed a bit too aggressively. I have to wait for the cycle to go back up again. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely aiming for like 3.3, 3.4, man. I think it's definitely doable. Probably by the next 2 months. I think it's very feasible. Even as like outlier pricing, which is fine. As long as you can babysit it, it's fine. All right, so does this have anything to do with how MPTCs are behaving right now? Which basically, it's playing off of an elevated trade channel. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. But I have a hard time believing that that's genuine demand on MPTCs. Unless something's going on, like unless people are genuinely just preparing their characters for something. I can't imagine what it can be though, outside of the normal, like Cap Pilot or Rorqual Pilot or whatever. I mean, I imagine that we've gone through the majority of those types of character transitions already. Cav says, I guess I'm lucky I can feed into manufacturing for my own uses. Yeah, man. Like, yeah, why not? As long as you can build it cheaper than what the market can list it for, you're good. All right, actually, so looking at this, so looking at how Plex is behaving right now, let's actually now come. So we looked at the MPTCs earlier. We're looking at Plex now. Now let's look at skill injectors. Not extractors. Extractors has a hard, like, actual real money price. It's laying flat too. Funny how that works out, huh? So Plex laying flat, injectors laying flat, but MPTC is rising. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. Where's the game there? Or where's the not necessarily the game? There's a discrepancy somewhere in there. But how can we cash out on this? So let's say we keep buying the plexes while it's flat. We keep buying the skill injectors while it's flat. Or is it the other way? Or is that flatness actually causing the increase in price of the injector of the MPTCs? I think that's what it is. Cap says, I think seeing one of those all economic slurry files. Those real life economic slurry files. Ah. If Plex is flat and injectors are flat, it makes sense that the MPTCs are increasing in value. Because then, actually, no, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. I'm gonna have to chalk this up to some weird shit, man. Like it doesn't make sense. Because typically all those three things like work in unison. And I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. MPTCs previous to the like crazy sales that has been happening tend to actually not run in unison with the Plex and injectors. Oh, eek. MPTCs, so that's a multiple character training certificate. It's this item. Right there. I mean, actually, no, it is kind of, it is going flat too, but it's going flat on the high end. Shit. It is running in unison. This is all legit, man. It's all legit movement. It's all legit movement. Fuck. As far as the models cap, oh man. I mean, to be honest, so what does that really mean then? So that really means that this is technically a sale period. For all three items, is a sale period. That's balls, man. That's balls. It's gonna take big balls to pull the trigger on the MPTCs, that's for sure. Big balls. It's just had a mini sale. Oh, so the multiple training certificates. Well, it's one of those really oddball sales, right? It's like a 2-for-1, but it's on the same account. This isn't really gonna. I don't think this is gonna square itself away until we figure out if it's worth it to devote the creation of more Rorqual pilots to supplement the need to actually have moon miners. Because moon miners are effectively going to be like regular miners, right? The Rorqual pilots. If people find value in creating Rorqual pilots or similarly trained pilots to help in the moon harvesting operations, you're gonna see this whole thing blow up. But we're not really gonna know that until what, like effectively the first month after launching the the refineries, right? Like a clear month, just about. If I was a betting man and I had a lot of money, I'd buy Plex, injectors, and MPTCs in fucking volume right now, and hope for a cash out up up to like a month after refineries come out. like Plex for sure. I'm in. Like I'm all in on Plex. I'm all in on Plex. If my Macaro buy orders don't get fulfilled, if my Rattlesnake buy orders don't get fulfilled, I'm putting all that shit in Plex. As long as I don't go beyond 3.5, I will commit to Plex. I know I'm gonna cash out. I'm legit gonna cash out on Plex, but there's no way for Plex to go down. But the rest, though, I'm a little more hesitant on the injectors. I'm a little more hesitant on the MPTCs, just because of the cost per item. All right, so that's gonna be my long game, or not even. That's not even a long call. Actually, that's a mid call. I'm calling Plex, injectors, and MPTCs to continue to be in this relative trade channel until refineries, and if it's worthwhile to have to create new Rorqual pilots to support refinery operations and continue traditional ore mining operations, those three items will blow up. I'm making that. I'm just putting it out there. I'm making that call. I'm totally making that call. So I'm be curious to see if anyone actually acts on this, and let me know how much money you make or how much money you lose. All right. So those are all our buys all our buys for the week. So the next thing I'm going to go over is cells. Something really strange I saw in cells. More for ourselves. Like crazy chart outliers on advanced moon materials. Crazy. Someone's making a killing out there. Okay, so our advanced moon materials here. I'm gonna go in order here. All right, phenolic composites. What's up with this? What is this? What is this? Even scarier? No crazy volume to back it. It's straight sell action. Straight sell action. Either people are actually anticipating a genuine, like, a genuine shortage of this in the near future. This is price resetting. So it's one of two things happening. Anticipating shortage or active price resetting. I mean, I don't know enough. That's my main thing too, guys. I just don't know enough about advanced moon materials to even make a call. I can only uh, really speak about how it appears in the charts. But this is basically all sell action. So what I mean by that is people are just grabbing it up themselves, and that in turn is increasing the price because the orders are just get diminished, right? Like the cheapest sell order gets diminished, and it keeps going. And it's not getting dumped into buys. That's the thing too. So the sell, if it was getting dumped into buy orders as well, then the buy and the sell price will actually go up together, but not this one. It's clearly just sell price that's going up. Oh wait, Carol. So smart people have already sorted out the Rorqual pilot prices. Rorqual pilot prices are out of control in the bazaar. Really? So basically, so Carell, do you agree with my hypothesis that once the refineries come out, the Plex injectors and MPTCs, maybe not the MPTCs at that point, but at least Plex would blow up by then? Actually, let's look at this real quick. I don't even know if this is flip. This is probably flippable. Shit, actually, it is. Holy fuck! For moon material, oh my god, this is huge. Gross, those injectors and flex for sure. Yeah, I think if you're saying there's already action on roll call pilots, dude. Yeah, MPTCs will probably die out by the time refineries come out. To even have a workable like 1-2% on phenolic composites, considering the volume, that's actually pretty good. Cap says can't see injectors. Everyone have miners in Rorquals. It's no second the big four. No, I don't know. I don't know. I imagine they're common enough. I mean, it's Rorquals, right? All right, so that's our phenolic composites. Next one we're gonna go look at is fermionic condensate. Very similar charting. All right, so no margin really. It's reset itself. It's price resetting, man. It's price resetting. Look at it. It's crazy. Very similar, right? So not really a marked difference on volume. This is, and it's already way the heck up here. So if you have this on stock and you don't know what to do with it or have no intention of doing anything with it, go sell this stuff now. Go sell this stuff. Someone reset the prices, so might as well take advantage of it. And why do I say that's price resetting? So people have basically bought up all the sell prices, diminished the low sell orders, and now the buy order people are trying to catch up to it because oh my god, it's increasing in value. I want to place buy orders. Then it hits the wall where the sell order, where the sell order manipulation wanted to arrive at. It's fucking brilliant, man. It's fucking brilliant. I wish I had the money to do that kind of stuff. 94 to 96, that's not flippable at all, man. No, you're trading this at a loss. This is a successful price reset. Fermionic condensates. Cap says a major jump that's sharp on low volume. Major jump that's sharp on low volume. I mean, it's not necessarily lower volume. It's just the volume didn't change. Like the volume didn't change hardly that much until these people try to catch up the buy orders, but then they got too aggressive, and now you're actually flipping at a loss. They fell for the trap, man. They fell for the market trap. Price reset by someone? Yeah, man, it's price reset. Maybe that wasn't the intent, but it ended up being a price reset. It's pretty brilliant. It's pretty brilliant. So the first one, the phenolic composites, may actually experience that reset too, because they're about 1% or 2% difference between buy and sell. But this one's it definitely got reset. It definitely got reset. All right, next one I'm going to look at is the nano transistors. It looks like it still has room to go up. I don't think it hasn't quite hit a ceiling yet. Not as evident as the previous two. But same story, different stock. Sorta. Volume pretty much looking the same. But just outlier. Price hikes. Crazy. Let's look at the pricing. Another price reset, man. That's crazy. Price reset or genuine demand that reset the price in a natural way. It's flipping at a loss now. It completely reset. Cam says, "Fuck, man, gets revenge on CO2 in the market flip. Vegas is gonna be full of smoke." Dude, when I mean, price reset, bro. Price reset. That's balls, man. Because they only had they literally did it over a week. Like most of the outlier work happened in a week. So it's not so much that they reset it. It's the fact that people didn't catch on to it and followed aggressively on buy orders, and that actually ended up being the cause of the reset, not the buying up of the sell orders by itself. Because when you do price resets, you need action to happen on both the buy and sell side. If you're just buying up the sell orders and just holding on to it, and the price basically has now the sell price has increased, but then you need people from the bottom on the buy order to actually catch up. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's classic, man. It's classic. Whoever did this really needs to like do a class. I was like, damn, what a price a pair of hands now. Man. Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. Why? I'm more curious as to not necessarily the. I'm not surprised as a price reset. I'm more curious as to why these specifically, and that is something that is unfortunately well beyond my pay grade, because I don't know enough about like where moons generally are, who's holding what type in mass. I don't know none of that stuff, man. But if we'll look at, I think we have two more items to look at. Oh no, just one more. So if you guys are aware of kind of like the moon composition situation in your respective null-sec spaces, and if this kind of starts to look familiar, yeah, maybe you can come up with your own hypothesis, and hopefully you can use that to actually make some money before the refineries come out. Next one, last one I'm gonna look at is the photonic metamaterial. Same thing, same thing. This one's a little more gradual. Then it just kept going up. It just kept going up, man. But this is it was buy and sell actually catching up with each other, with gaps in between. But it already hit the ceiling. It legit hit the ceiling though. So it's either gonna flatten out or crash. I don't think it's gonna crash. I really don't think it's gonna crash. Let's look at the pricing. There's still room. There's still room. 8% before taxes. It's still flippable. It's probably because it's on its way down. The people kind of got afraid. I'm curious to see how the pricing was, like, let's say 7 days ago. I'd be curious to see if it was flippable then. So this one actually basically is already recovering from the aggressive nature of the pricing. If someone could actually explain maybe more of the why these particular moon materials are being targeted for price resets, or maybe not even price. Let's not even call it price resets, or being targeted for just buying it up from the market. Like, I don't care how much it costs, buy everything. That kind of behavior. That'd be great. I would love to hear why that is. I don't know if it's based more on moon composition, or is it based more out of maintaining particular doctrines post refineries, and it may be a combination of that. Cap says, isn't it kind of like the gold standard ISK in toilet? Something else needs to be what? Hmm. An investment, the goo is going to be in contested space. Is it really contested though? I'm almost certain that the big null people actually have an agreement on their moons. Pretty sure. It wouldn't make sense otherwise. It wouldn't make sense. That, and based on how the mechanic is actually going to be once the update kicks in, the moon itself is not going to be as relevant, because there's always going to be a little bit of something in each moon, right? Unless I'm totally like screwed that up. But that's kind of how it came off when I was hearing about it in podcasts and whatnot, and reading what they could actually divulge. I'm really curious as to why those. I'm really curious. Caps, so they're betting on scarcity or not sure what's used for Tech 3 Supercaps. I don't know. It could just be a matter of knowing that if you're holding, if your entity, as a matter of fact, is holding the majority source of these items we just talked about, you should feel comfortable about resetting your price. You should feel comfortable about resetting the price, because the source material, the moons, is in your space, or maybe a good portion of it. It's crazy, man. That's crazy. It's crazy exciting. All right, but that's really all I got, guys. Really cool case studies and discoveries here, and definitely would be keen to see this next week to see if it crashes or it actually maintains the pricing. Something tells me it's gonna be a little bit in between. It's still it has to retract a little bit. It has to. That's just the beginning of monopoly mechanics. That's outside of CCP's control, man. You know, because that's monopolies happen when people let it happen. CCP actually doesn't. If you look at the mechanics that they're trying to impose in the game world, is the sources of things are spread out enough where it's, if people really want to do monopolies, they really have to work at it, and you work at it through diplomacy. But XE says thank you very much, Biplex, dude. If by this weekend, like I said, man, if by this weekend my buy orders don't pan out, I'm gonna cancel that sucker and just replace it with Plex orders. Yeah, absolutely. Replace it with Plex orders. I can play a lot more Plex than I can play skill injectors. So me personally, because I don't have that much cash right now, I would actually put it on Plex. It's a little bit more. It's a little bit more forgiving versus skill injectors. But if you have the money and you have the courage to actually watch skill injectors, I'd actually do that. I think your payouts can be a lot better than Plex. Cap says, nope. If this was player generated, then it's Hayek. But then we all know that will never happen in a game that's mature. I don't know, man. The players will always we surprise each other all the time. But at the same time too, this is just a picture. This is just a G'd picture. This isn't actually game-wide picture. So the reality might actually be closer to what we may not think it is. You know what I mean? Because there's no such thing as universal graphs. This is literally just for this region. I imagine a fair number of transactions are happening that don't make it to any kind of market window. You know, there are probably arrangements between entities, arrangements between big money people, arrangements between alliance leaders, right? We're only talking about what we can see. This is literally the tip of the iceberg. I have no idea how big this damn iceberg is. All right. Hey, thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate it. I actually was not expecting to see the kind of stuff we did. And again, I think this is a product of, you know, me being able to talk it out loud with you guys and interacting with you guys in chat. Cap, looking at you. And maybe, and you know, kind of finding solutions to questions, or even finding ourselves creating more hypotheses because, you know, of our interactions every week. So really appreciate it, guys. Really appreciate you guys. And with that being said, as per usual, I will have this uploaded into YouTube, and I will continue, and I'm gonna start developing more of like the tutorial types, not necessarily tutorials. I should call them tutorials, but more of like training type videos for trading. I think nah. We're keen enough to figure out the models though, Cap. So I definitely wanna not cover, like, I'm definitely gonna do a little bit more besides covering the mechanics of trading in my training videos. I definitely want to cover more of like the mindsets and like thinking about it as a complete system, not just little pieces, not just the buy low, sell high bit. Everybody knows that, but what can we talk about beyond that? So that's really what I want to engage you guys with. Cool, then I can make money? Yeah, hell yeah, man. Anybody can make money, man. Anybody can make money. Like, I make money just flying around in frigates and killing things. He says, seriously, never bothered with trading, but it was nice to watch. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it, man. Sometimes when there's a little bit more news, I tend to definitely do a little bit more commentary, but I think there was plenty of commentary already made with the Judge and GigX and CO2 by much more learned people than me when it comes to that stuff. It is what it is. I do not feel bad at all about what happened. I think it made sense that what happened did happen. All right. Well, thanks very much, guys. Really appreciate it. So we'll go ahead and cut it here, and this will be uploaded in the next hour or two. And hey, thanks, Cap. Appreciate it, man. We'll see about pushing out more videos for sure. And I think if my friend that actually was in that alliance, if there's enough interest, we'll probably do like a live Q&A type deal. That'd be great. That'd be really great. And yeah, that's really all I got. And I'll see you guys next week. Appreciate it, guys.